all white.
This looks good.
Do I look like uneven?
So today's video, this is my sister Hannah.
Hello.
She's my best friend in the whole world. She's visiting.
You're just like...
I love her so much, and she's visiting from California, and we want to make this video today on a great reminder for all of us women, females, and of course this is a message that can be for men as well, but we've just found from our personal experience it would be a great message for women especially.
We're tired of seeing women, ourselves included, doing these things because it just perpetuates negativity and it doesn't make anyone happy. It just causes stress and heartache for everyone.
We're just gonna kickstart this off now. Okay, so the first one is to stop hating yourself. Now I know it might sound kind of extreme, like I don't hate myself, but are there certain things you hate about yourself? Certain things about the way you look, or even on the inside? It's so a waste of energy space to focus on the negative and to allow yourself to place your value based on the way you look or certain personality traits that maybe somebody else doesn't like.
Yeah, and then also it seems so silly when people hate themselves, because how do you expect anyone else to love you and who you are if you don't first love yourself? I know that, like, when I was growing up, like whenever I was going through depression or just feeling really anxious or insecure about something, I had like no friends. Like it was really hard for me to be around other people because no one wanted to be around that. But when I feel really confident about myself and love every part of me, even the parts that aren't perfect, that's when people come to me and they want to be around me.
Yeah, exactly. A good reminder is also that some of the most beautiful and adored women on the planet have insecurities themselves. The media gives this unrealistic image of what we're supposed to look like, and even if they think that this person has attained that image, a lot of times they're insecure about something that you would never even think of. But we are our own worst critic, and yeah, that's just a good reminder to like that we should accept and love the way that we look, and on the inside as well. Like there's certain personality traits that that you'll have that maybe someone else doesn't like, but someone else's opinion of you is not a reflection of who you are and your value. An example, on my Instagram a while ago, I posted a photo of me like sitting down at the beach, and someone had commented like, oh, she has cellulite. First of all, as women, we should be uplifting each other instead of putting each other down. The reason why so many women do this is because the media, magazines, whatever, has made people feel like you're only valuable as a person unless you look this way. If you have perfect teeth, you have perfect skin, you have perfect symmetrical bone structure and no cellulite, whatever. So this person's comment of saying that they thought they saw some cellulite on me is not a reflection of my value. It's a reflection of themselves, of their own insecurities that they felt the need to project onto me. Okay, that's what she sees, but that's not a reflection of my value as a person. That's a reflection of herself and maybe her own insecurities or her own obsession with this, every woman needs to look a certain way.
Yeah, and then also one more thing about just like hating your body and stuff. I think a lot of us, we have these goals like, oh, you know, one day, like next year, I'm gonna look amazing. By next summer, I'm working really hard, I'm eating super clean, I work out so hard, and by then I'll be super happy, and then I will love myself. But you have to remember that, like, just like what Ellen said, these beautiful women that supposedly look perfect, they also have insecurities and they also have things that they hate about themselves.
That's a really good reminder that like, wow, it really is like your value and your self-confidence as a person really has nothing to do with how you actually look.
I think the most important thing you can do to actually put this into action, because we can just talk all day about just love yourself, you know, but something really practical is to stop spending time with people who put you down. Stop spending time with people who are obsessed with their own looks, just insecure themselves. You're gonna feel insecure because like you recognize like young girls, they don't feel insecure until they start seeing other women feel insecure. They're like, wait, oh, I'm supposed to be self-conscious.
Wrong with me. Yeah. And I've also noticed that like moving away from like Orange County and into Hawaii, it's been such
to Hawaii.
No, but I've just noticed for myself, I stopped caring as much about my hair being perfect or my makeup being perfect or having the perfect outfit because nobody around me does. The vibe is so much more connected to nature and that your value isn't placed on the way that you look. So yeah, that was actually just my personal experience of where I am, and the location shifted and made it easier. So like what you said, it doesn't mean up and go move from the town that you live in necessarily, but just like surrounding yourself with people. Be conscious
of your community, because the people you spend your time with are a huge reflection on you, and they will deeply influence how you look at yourself.
The next one is to stop being jealous. Stop being jealous of others. Stop. My friend Kat Green once said in a video that was amazing, she said, other people's success in life is not a limitation of your own.
Yeah.
And that is so true. There's not a limited amount of success and positivity.
It would be like if someone was like over there breathing this amazing air, and you're just like, man, they have all this amazing air. It's like, just go over there and take part of it in yourself, because there's no limited amount. It's not just like, oh, because they're breathing the air, you don't get any air.
Yeah. And we should be instead rejoicing in other people's success in life. Instead, if we shift our focus from being jealous to being happy for them, that will literally bring more happiness to your life and therefore more success, because this is something that I think is so powerful that I read somewhere. I don't remember who wrote it. If you know whose the quote is, let me know, or maybe I'm butchering it. But it said, watch your thoughts become your words. Watch your words become your actions. Watch your actions, because your actions become who you are. I think that is so powerful, and once I have over the years shifted my focus to more positive thoughts, which I'm still working on. I still have times where I'm like dwelling on something negative. I'm kind of a dweller, and I'm working on that. And my husband is so not a dweller, so he's really good at being like, what are you doing? You know, totally. But yeah, so I really think that like your thoughts affect so much about your life, because when I'm dwelling on something negative, whether it be about somebody else or myself, that shifts my energy to a stressful, anxious-filled life, to where I'm not as happy, and then I'm not going to have as much success in my life. The more I shift my focus to more positive thoughts, then the happier I am and the more success that comes my way.
And just remember, the more like jealousy and stress that you have inside you, it's going to cause you health problems. Like, just stop stressing over these silly things like, oh, I wish I had that, or she looks amazing, because it will do nothing for you. Being jealous doesn't actually bring those things to your life.
Instead, like, be inspired by that person. I've found that like when I look at something I really like, at someone and their life, something they have, instead of being jealous of them, I look at them and say, wow, that's amazing. What can I do to shift my life so that I have that, you know? So instead of focusing on like, oh, they have that and I don't, just look at it as a positive way to be inspired.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is something that I've read about recently in this book by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's called The 4 Agreements, and a couple of the ones particularly stick out to me, and one of the agreements is don't make assumptions. And man, when you think about it, how many assumptions do we make in our life every day? How many assumptions do you think, like, let's say you say something to a neighbor and you're like, oh no, they gave me, like, they paused before they answered. Maybe they think I'm dumb. Maybe they didn't like what I said. Oh, or like you send a text message and they don't text you back right away. Oh my gosh, that person's so mad at me. And just making assumptions, causing unnecessary stress in your life.
I think this is definitely a woman thing. Not that men don't do this, but I think women do this a lot. Myself included.
And this also is really helpful in friendship relationships or partner relationship as well, that like to not make assumptions that they're supposed to know how you're thinking, or to make assumptions how you think they're feeling. It's better to just speak your words, speak the truth, and always be honest, and that will get you in such a better place in your life. And yeah, I think the don't make assumptions thing is such a good rule to have for our life. So the next one is another agreement in the 4 Agreements book, and that one is don't take things personally. And I have definitely suffered from that in my life, and I would have saved myself from a lot of anxiety and stress if I didn't do that. And that's like another example with the Instagram comments someone gave for me. Another one I get on my YouTube, sometimes people comment and say, oh, your boobs are so saggy. Okay, that is something that I could take personally and think, wow, that person's right, my boobs are so saggy, and just dwell on it and think of that as a bad thing. But that's that person's choice to think of that as a negative thing, and that's like a whole other thing. They're choosing to say that your boobs are saggy is a bad thing. Now, why are they thinking that? They're thinking that because they've been taught their whole life that a beautiful woman has perky, big boobs, and if she has saggy boobs, then that is not beautiful, and you better fix that. And I think that is such a bad message. We should not be putting that message that something natural, that my boobs aren't quite as perky as they were in their teens.
You're 30.
I'm 30 for one, and then for 2, I've breastfed 2 children for many years, and I'm fine with my boobs that aren't necessarily like breast implant looking. Totally. I honestly like them, and I'm fine. But yeah, it's just, that's another thing, is like I could easily take criticism personally, and any type of criticism I get, not just about the way I look on social media, but just saying that negative things about the way I parent, or negative things about our lifestyle. I am choosing not to take that personally, because The negativity you put out into the world is a reflection of themselves. It's not a reflection of me. And yeah, I think that's just...
And I think this like also connects back with number 1 is like fully loving yourself. For example, like if someone doesn't invite you somewhere and you think, oh my gosh, maybe they just don't like me like that, and like, hey, so what? Like, if that probably isn't the reason. People are more concerned about themselves than concerned about other people. But let's say they didn't invite you because they don't like you. You can choose to say, oh, that is so weird that they don't like me because I'm amazing and I love who I am. So apparently they don't see what I see in myself. I'm gonna find some other friends. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it just connects right back. So like, just like what you said about not taking the saggy boobs comments personally, is because, hey, I love my boobs, I love my body, I love who I am, I love what it represents about like my age and my motherhood, and that's a part of loving yourself fully. And because only the insecure people get really offended by these comments,
because other people's opinions of you is not a reflection of your value as a person, and that is something that we haven't been taught our whole lives. We have been taught that the way that people think of you is what matters, and the way people think of you is a reflection of your value, but that is not the case at all. That's not the truth. No matter how nice you are, no matter how sweet and perfect and beautiful you are, someone is not gonna like you.
That's something Mom always taught us.
You cannot please everyone. That is something to really remind yourself. No matter how hard you try, someone's not gonna like your message, someone's not gonna like you.
And this is something I've actually had to say to some of my friends recently. It's like my favorite thing. It's so simple. It literally does not matter what people think about you. Like, just letting that sink in, that it does not matter what people think about you. There are those thoughts. It's not you. It means so much. It doesn't matter what people think of you at all.
What was the video Michelle made? Your friend Michelle.
How to not give a...
Oh yeah, she has this video called How Not to
Go watch Michelle, Banana Blondie 108.
Really good. I'll put the link in the description box below. It's really good. So I think we covered that one. High five.
Number 5 is to stop gossiping. Actually, I get really embarrassed if I realize that I'm gossiping, because I think it's an embarrassing quality and I don't like it about myself. And I actually, just the other day, I felt like I was gossiping and being negative and just like saying mean things about someone, about people, and then like I left that exchange with the friend, and then I called her and I was like, you know what, I feel like I was being so negative, I'm really sorry, I'm embarrassed, like I'm really working on it, I don't mean to gossip. And she was like really forgiving, and she really appreciated that I was just like calling and being vulnerable with her, like, I'm sorry, I realized I was gossiping.
Because vulnerability is like such an important trait in being able to make deep, meaningful connections. I think that gossiping creates this false sense of deepness and closeness with whoever you're talking to, a friend, partner, whoever.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah, it creates this like, yeah, we're agreeing about something. This is something that, yeah, we're connecting this way.
Oh my gosh.
But it's this it's a false way to connect. It's not an authentic way to connect with someone. And then over time you will see that that type of relationship that thrives on gossiping and talking negative about other people,
it's gonna fall apart.
It is like a poison, and it's not gonna fulfill your life, and it'll just make things worse. It'll make you be someone who you really are inside.
Because if you're with friends who are just constantly gossiping, then those friends will probably talk about you.
Yeah, that's just a good reminder. And like, I really don't want my kids to grow up hearing that type of stuff. I want them to hear words out of my mouth that are positive and uplifting.
This is a rule. If the person was in the room, could you have an honest conversation with the same topic?
Yes.
Gossiping just creates more of the negativity that's on this list. So like, the more you gossip, the more you're gonna hate yourself, the more insecure you're going to be, the more you're going to
be jealous of others,
be jealous and make assumptions. That's a huge thing in gossiping.
Yes. Stop.
The last one is to stop comparing yourself to others.
I'm like, what are you gonna say next? I want to hear.
You are your own person, and you are perfect the way you are. The more that you are yourself, the more beautiful you become, and I truly believe that.
Yeah.
Life is not a competition. When you're just trying to compete with the person next to you or that person on the internet who lives 5,000 miles away, it does nothing for your life. It does not make you happier. Just look at how you can make yourself better. If you're interested in self-improvement, how to make yourself better, not compared to someone else.
That kind of goes along with the jealousy thing, is that like when you see your friends and the successes in their life, instead of comparing yourself or try to competing with them, just be happy for them and say, wow, that's amazing, that goodness that they had in the world. I can have that too. Or I can have goodness in this way, in a different way, or whatever. And also realize and remind yourself that everybody struggles, everybody has hurts.
And that's part, I know this is so cheesy, but that's part of what makes life so beautiful, is the negative side to it. But we don't even have to call it negative. We could just call it the other side of life, the side that doesn't feel so good. This past year, the uncomfortable side. This past year I learned a lot about like embracing sadness, embracing those hard times in my life.
And also like follow my Instagram and her Instagram too. I share a lot more on my Instagram about just like personal thoughts and struggles and whatever. I mean, I share the happy times, but I also share like the things I'm going through when I'm going through them, when it feels authentic and when I want to. So if you want to, follow me on Instagram at Ellen Fisher, and Hannah is
Hannah_McNeelu.
Yeah, I get a little vulnerable on Instagram. That's the outlet that I use to get on that.
The more vulnerable you are, the more vulnerability you will attract. I believe vulnerable is the new sexy, and you will attract more vulnerability.
I really do too. Okay, so I think a good way to close out this video is just a reminder of that thing that we said in the beginning. Watch your thoughts become your words. Watch your words, because your words become your actions. Watch your actions, because your actions become who you are.
Thanks for watching, sister.